What up, everybody? It's your boy Sack the King up in this motherfucker, man. Back with another video. As you can see from the title, I won't make this video too long, but YNW Melly has been denied bond and he will remain in prison until he goes to trial. Hit that subscribe button below so you can be the first to know and help the channel grow. Now, if you've been under a rock, man, YNW Melly's a rapper from Florida. He is accused of killing his two friends along with another friend as his accomplice. Now, YNW Bortland is the other accomplice. He's currently in jail for witness tampering. Covered all this shit in plenty of videos. Go check those out. They gave him bond on one of the smallest charges. It was 500 bands. I think that was just a money grab. They just wanted a quick little penny to go into fucking Florida slush fund or whatever. You feel me? But on all the murder charges and all that, he's not getting no bond. He's gonna go to jail. And honestly, I watched the whole trial. I watched every single day of the YNW Melly trial. I can't even remember the last time I watched a whole fucking trial, right? I watched a Young Thug trial too after that every day too. But the YNW Melly is like the first trial I kept up with the whole fucking time. You know what I'm saying? That I can remember. And based off of, if we just going off of scientific forensic evidence, if we just take your feelings out, take your fanboy glasses and hats off, if we going by scientific evidence, which is used a lot to convict people, YNW Melly is guilty as fuck, okay? He's guilty as fuck. If you ask me, just based on the scientific evidence, if I was a juror, take me being a former street nigga out of this, just say I'm a regular ass Joe civilian motherfucker, and I looked at just the scientific evidence, and I don't wish nothing bad on YNW Melly because it ain't what you know, it's what you can prove, and you know, he can still beat this shit. But personally, how do you beat scientific proof? They had so much evidence against this dude. These dudes didn't really think out this crime the way they thought they did. Bro, you cannot outsmart the police who's been doing this shit for 30 years, bro. These forensic evidence been doing this shit longer than that nigga's been alive, and he thought he was going to outsmart the police. Like, come on, bro. When they showed all that evidence, I said, bruh. The thing that helped YNW Melly is the hostile witnesses, like his girlfriend's mom, his girlfriend not showing up, which she gonna have to show up to this court date now. And you know, this is going, you know, if you don't know, his first trial ended in a mistrial, and they're gonna retry him again. And obviously they feel like they got enough evidence to try him again. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be interesting to see. I'm gonna watch every single bit of this trial when it happens. But other motions and everything, his lawyers are still at work to try, like I said, to try to get him a bond. You know, and personally, I feel like this too. Regardless of what I said about the evidence and shit, he should have been granted bond the minute that they couldn't come up with a verdict and it was a mistrial. Like, I believe that's kind of unfair. Like, you can't convict this dude. You need to at least put him on house arrest, put him on whatever. But I understand when you're already accused of witness tampering and all that other shit, and we know he's gonna have some money because I'm sure his stream's been going up for years. He's been locked up for 6 years, bro. That's thousands of days. You feel me? That's at least, that's like 2,000 days damn near. Y'all do the math. You feel me? But I feel like he should have got a bond for that, as I said in one of them last videos. Yes, I think he's guilty, but he should have got a bond since they couldn't find him totally guilty. You know what I mean? But hey, it ain't up to me, you know, and I'm sure if it was my family member, I wouldn't want to see that nigga on the street either. But a nigga like me, you know, would want to see that nigga on the street so I can get my revenge myself. You feel me? But, you know, he's probably more safer in jail, damn near, you know, because one of the dude's dads definitely wants to get at him. You know what I mean? But, you know, I'm not God. I can't judge him. I'm not on the jury. I can't judge him. I'm not a judge. I can't judge him. I just got to go off of what I seen watching that trial every single day based on the evidence. I believe he's guilty. And I've said that in past videos. But on the other flip of the coin, since they couldn't come up with that guilty verdict, they need to get that man some bond. You feel me? That's just how I feel. You feel me? But like I said, other people might feel like, no, this nigga is capable of killing his own friends. He don't need to be on the street. You know, so it's kind of a catch-22 because I do believe in the science, but I also believe in, you know, if it was me, I'd want some bond if they couldn't find enough evidence. So I got to put myself in his shoes and play devil's advocate for a little bit. You know, if he's not found guilty this time around, they need to let that nigga go. If they can't get their shit together and wasting more taxpayers' dollars and resources on this trial like they had the first one, and they can't come up, if they comes up with a mistrial again, they need to let him go. You feel me? It ain't what you know, it's what you can prove. And obviously, they couldn't prove their case. Like I said, there was a lot of reasons why in that first trial. And one of the jurors in that first trial, if y'all remember, convinced another juror not to convict him. And that's how it ended in a mistrial. Everybody else said he was guilty. It was one juror that was holding out till the last day. And she, at the end of the day, she was like a stud or something, a black lady. She convinced another juror to go with her. And that's how he got that mistrial. Other than that, had it not been for that one juror, he'd probably be on death row right now because they're trying it as a death penalty case, okay? So, like I said, I ain't gonna make this video too much longer. I'll keep y'all followed up. I'm making this video because, you know, it's been a minute and, you know, we still keeping up with this case, man. Hit that subscribe button below so you can be the first to know and help the channel grow. King.